You know, I have a 5 and an 8-year-old, and before you have kids, I think that we start thinking about what are we going to do to prepare for college. And there's several options. You know, one is people can do nothing and just hope that it works out, that they can get financial aid or student loans, or think that maybe the kids can handle on their own. Okay. The second is through production, just making enough money during their college years to pay for that. The third is there's a lot of plans out there, and one of the more popular government-sponsored plans is a 529 plan. I want you to say this though, the 529 is not mine, because ultimately this thing is stuck inside of a heavy expense-ridden, lack of control, typically funded by the mutual funds. That how do you know whether they're going to perform properly at the right time or not? And what if your kids choose a different state, or they choose a different route than going immediately to school? And what does that mean from a tax perspective? I just think that the biggest problem is these are just fee-laden. There are so many fees inside of these. And really it's taking your wealth and putting it into something that you have very little control over, and I have a lot of concern about that. On the other hand, you can set up a trust for your kids. And what happens is your kids are probably in a lower tax bracket than you. And through that trust, even though you're no longer in control of that money, you're putting it in a trust for them. It could be taxed at their rates, at their bracket. And right now, as the time I shoot this video, you can start gifting your kids money, and quite a bit of money, without it having a generation skipping tax or an estate tax. And so you can find that out from an attorney, and you can start putting substantial amounts away. Now, inside of that, maybe in the future, maybe it's time they get to college, they can actually use that to fund a property that they buy, and they could rent out to other people that are going to school. And then hopefully that appreciates or stays level. A lot of times in college towns, it's pretty good and easy to get a lot of information about the history, and it's a little bit more stable, especially because you're not talking about a big house or something like that, and probably not a mansion or something extravagant to live in, but they can start learning what it means to manage, to be in charge. This is what I did when I was in college. I bought a home, I rented it out to some roommates, and then it appreciated and eventually sold it. So that's one option. There's plenty of strategy, but rather than condemning yourself to only the funds that are selected within the 529, there's a whole other opportunity where you can empower your children, and where you could choose when they get access to this trust, and that you can start to save taxes by having it be in their tax rate. So college is something that, you know, whether they're going to go or not, and what if they're really brilliant and they get one of these higher, more expensive types of universities that, you know, if you're going to be prepared for that and you want to give them the best opportunity, it's important to start saving now. Build up your wealth as much as possible, but start taking into consideration setting up a special trust for your kids' education.